Hello, welcome to my channel. Today's video is a short life update, or at least I'm hoping to keep it short. So my family's gone through a lot of changes. Recently my husband got a new teaching job and my son started kindergarten, and that's caused a lot of just changes personally, and I think they're going to affect the channel at some point. But before I go into the personal stuff, I just wanted to share the teaching stuff, which is mostly the same. The big change there is that they gave me a fourth class this year. Okay, so I'm accidentally using the words classes and courses interchangeably. There is a difference. Classes are class periods, and every teacher in my school has 5 class periods that they teach. However, courses is different. That's the different courses that we're teaching during those class periods. So when I say I have 4 courses, I don't mean that I'm only teaching 4 periods. I just wanted to clarify that. So I have 2 sections of my geometry class, one section of the other geometry class that's for struggling learners, and then I have a pre-calculus, calculus college level class. The fourth class that they gave me this year is 7th grade. That is a big change, and it's just a lot to get used to. And I know that they meaning like anyone in education, lump these grades together as being secondary, and like they're so similar, but they're not. There's a big difference between 7th graders and the 10th through 12th graders that I'm used to. So that's just an adjustment that I'm going through right now, just figuring out the best way to handle things with just a younger grade level. And I'm sure any elementary teacher would be able to tell you that there's a big difference between kindergarteners and 6th graders. So even though they're lumped together as being elementary or secondary, there are big differences when you're looking at the different age groups. The case in point that comes to mind was on the first day, I did the same exact activities with all of my classes except for pre-calculus because I had these students last year. And in my geometry classes, everything went over well. In my 7th grade classes, I had to re-explain the directions several times. I feel like that was the first foray into realizing how different the age levels were. So I'm just getting used to it. Now, since I have a 4th different course that I'm teaching this year, my schedule's a little bit different. They give me basically less of a duty this year. So the way our contract is structured, if we have up to 3 classes, we'd have a duty every single day, and our duties in my school could either be study hall, hall duty, or lunch duty. So I can't have a study hall, although they gave me one initially by mistake, and it was kids that I've had before, and I was really looking forward to it. But once I realized I can't actually have that study hall, they gave me lunch duty, but it's only 2 days a week. And if I'd had a 5th class to teach, then I'd only have duty 1 day a week. So that is just a nice, great thing that we have going on at our school, where I get a little bit of extra planning time to accommodate for the fact that I have 4 different classes. So that is a huge help with just going through a lot of these adjustments. So in terms of how personal changes are overlapping with teaching changes, I bring my son to school. He comes to school within my district, which is just a huge privilege, something that I was able to do because I work in the district. So I have to bring him to school. I'm the sole parent responsible for bringing him to school and picking him up after school, which is just a bit of a heavy responsibility just in terms of if something happens to me, how's my kid getting to school, that kind of thing. We'll figure it out when we get there. But right now, the big change that it's causing is the time that I arrive to work. So for the past 11 years that I've worked in my school, I've always gotten there between half an hour to 1 hour before I needed to be there, and I would use that time just to prepare for the day and get things set up. And I loved that quiet time to myself, and I was getting there an hour early on, and then as I had kids, was getting there more half an hour before we had to start. The earliest I can drop my son off is 10 minutes before I need to be at school. So now I'm getting to school right at, it feels like the last minute, because I am very much if you're on time, you're late, and if you're early, you're on time. So that's what I would aim for, but I don't really have much of a choice anymore. So I've lost that time in the morning when I can get things set up. But on the other hand, I now have time after school where I am stuck there until I can pick up my son, because our dismissal time is almost an hour before their dismissal time. So I have time now after school every day, which is a huge benefit for students that would need my help. But it just means that I have to have a shift of, instead of getting things set up the morning of, I have to make sure that they're set up the day before. So not a huge issue, but just a shift. And it was difficult at the very beginning of the year because we have after school hall duty and I had mine first. I asked for it to be first because I was thinking about getting my kids to their activities after school without realizing that we don't get to participate in those now that we're getting home later than we used to. But anyway, I had it done the first 10 days after school. I had to stay for half an hour. But by the time that hall duty was done, that was about time for me to go get my son, because I have to like get in line and then sit there and wait until dismissal and then process through. It's taking about like half an hour between when I arrive to my son's school and when I actually get him. So with all of that going on, I feel like I gained like an hour in the morning because I'm not leaving as early as I used to. And really, for being honest, I gained half an hour. It just feels like more time because I can get up and exercise now, which I couldn't really before unless I was getting up at like 4:30 to 4:45. But I feel like I'm losing 2 hours in the afternoon because, you know, I have to wait around to get my son. Then I get my son, I have to go get my daughter, who still goes to my mom, which is not like a crazy long drive. It just feels like a lot of time spent in the car because I've already had to sit and wait in the car for like half an hour. So I feel like that's like the big adjustment. Home-wise, it's impacted just the cleaning schedule. Like I like having my house clean. It makes me feel good. And I shared in the spring like a schedule that I had for cleaning the house where I would split it up into a couple days, and that way it was manageable because it was just a little bit each day. Can't really do that anymore because what made that possible was I was getting home first by myself for about half an hour before anyone else got home and I could get those things done, and I just don't have that time anymore. So as of right now, I'm just kind of doing it all in one day on the weekend, but I do enjoy like having the whole house clean and not having to do anything during the week. That's kind of nice. So like I said, just adjustments. Nothing's bad, nothing's good. We're just getting used to a new way of doing everything. Now, how it's going to affect the channel, I'm not exactly sure yet, but in case you haven't noticed, like my son is downstairs with me and just making all kinds of noise in the other room, just playing, and he wants to get in here and be on the video, but I'm not comfortable with that. So it's just kind of hard to convince him to go to another room and do something else while I do this. That, and I'm not a fan of videos with background noise like this, so I don't know that I'm going to want to film and have background noise like this. And like I said, I used to get time after school where I could be alone in the house for a little bit, and on days when I had my cleaning schedule ahead, I would sit down and film videos. I'm not going to have that time anymore. So unless I am somehow miraculously kid-free for part of the weekend, my videos might be looking different. Like they might be a voiceover while I'm doing a tech tutorial, which I do have more coming up because I was asked to do a Google Docs tutorial, and I totally will. Then I figure I might as well do Google Slides and just round out everything. So like those I'll be able to film in the morning before anyone's awake on the weekend, but my voice might not sound the greatest because it's first thing in the morning, and I'm just not going to show up because I'll still be in my pajamas. But other than that, I'm not quite sure how I'll be able to film videos for this channel. So that's just where things are. I wanted to do a quick update because I had my videos prepared from the summer to go out, and the last one went out 2 weeks ago when we're seeing this. So yeah, I'm not quite sure how things are going to go out in the future, but if I am on a hiatus or if my videos are really sporadic, that is why. Just at the age that my kids are right now, it is extremely hard to do this. So that's it. I just wanted to share what's been going on. I mean, like I said, overall things are good. It's just big changes over here for the better. So if you have questions, comments, anything, leave them in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching.